Welcome. Today we dive into Ansible, an automation tool that makes life easier. No complicated setups, no agents, just pure efficiency. With YAML-based playbooks, automation feels like writing a to-do list, except this one gets things done. Ready to unlock the power of Ansible? I'm Amelia James, a technology expert with 13+ years of experience designing and delivering human resource management systems that actually work for people. I specialize in building scalable integrated HR platforms that streamline processes, enhance employee experience, and give leadership real-time, actionable insights. Ever faced a tool update that broke everything? Installing multiple versions is like keeping old and new keys. One unlocks the past, the other secures the future. Whether for testing or migration, having flexibility means fewer headaches. Let's explore how Ansible makes this a breeze. Before we jump in, let's talk prerequisites. Think of this as packing for a trip. You wouldn't leave without your essentials. Python, SSH access, and dependencies are key. No surprises, no last-minute scrambling. Let's check our list and get going. Setting up Ansible is like assembling furniture. Follow the instructions and you'll have a stable setup. First, install Ansible, then define your inventory, create playbooks, and finally, test connections. Simple steps, big automation power. Writing playbooks is like scripting a movie. Every version has its role. We'll use variables, define tasks, and ensure compatibility so everything runs smoothly. Get ready to make your playbook both powerful and adaptable. All right, folks, let's talk about getting multiple versions installed without losing our sanity. First, we structure our playbook. Think of it as your recipe for success. Next, we list all the versions we need because, let's be honest, dependencies are picky. Then we execute the playbook with just the right configurations, like a well-seasoned dish. Finally, we check if everything installed correctly because nobody likes surprises, especially in system setups. Time to play detective. We first check what versions have actually landed on our system, because assuming never ends well. Then we cross-check them with our requirements, like a grocery list. If something doesn't match, we identify what's missing or what's snuck in uninvited. Finally, we run some tests, because you wouldn't serve a dish without tasting it first, right? Version conflicts, the software equivalent of a family feud. First, we figure out where things are clashing. Then, we separate them like stubborn relatives using environment isolation techniques. Package managers come to our rescue, ensuring our versions coexist peacefully. And because history tends to repeat itself, we document everything for next time. Automation is our best friend. First, we set rules for upgrading versions so we don't have to babysit them. Then we make sure we have rollback plans because, let's be real, things break. We test everything in a safe sandbox before letting it loose in production. And finally, we watch the system's health post-upgrade. Because just like humans, systems can get cranky after big changes. If software versions were pets, we'd be responsible owners. First, we create a structured strategy so we don't end up with version chaos. We follow semantic versioning because V1, 2, 3 alpha should actually mean something. Regular audits keep us from accumulating outdated versions. And finally, we train our teams, because shared knowledge beats figure it out yourself any day. Troubleshooting, it's where patience meets problem solving. First, we study error logs like detectives finding clues. Then we check dependencies because mismatches love causing trouble. If all else fails, manual installation is our backup plan. But nobody wants to be stuck there. And finally, we turn to the community because someone somewhere has faced this exact issue before. And that's a wrap. We've covered how to install, verify, manage, upgrade, and troubleshoot versions. Remember, best practices aren't just guidelines, they make life easier. If you want to dive deeper, there are plenty of resources waiting for you. And most importantly, stay proactive, because software versions love to surprise us when we least expect it. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us.